This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and joining me today are a returning champion, I guess you could say, back for another visit. Visited with us, episode 9. And we're already into the 80s now, so it's been some time. Andrew Morrell joins us, the traveling.
Hello, Tom.
Andrew, how are you?
Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Well, to be with you again. Last time it was a non-visual, but
yes,
now it's
audio
visual.
only. Yeah, so we've graduated to a visual component. People can still listen, of course, on Apple and Podomatic and places like that, but we also have the visual now, so good to see you. Boy, you look out, you're out in the great expanse, like big sky country, but not really, right?
Well, not at the moment, but this was my my trip to Colorado last summer. Traveling through the high plains, eastern Colorado, western Kansas, just
breathtaking.
Perfection.
Yeah. Wow, it looks amazing. You're not there now, but instead in western, not West Virginia, but Western Virginia.
Close, very close to West Virginia is about that way, 10 minutes.
Oh, I didn't realize you were that close.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So in the lovely metropolis of Winchester,
Virginia. It's a lovely town. Interesting. It's pivotal during the Civil War. It has this beautiful downtown, nice long walking mall where you can sit down and grab a cup of coffee, eat anything you want, see some good comedy, listen to some good music. It's a wonderful place.
Oh, that's great. And they actually have their own baseball team.
Yes, the Winchester, the name is escaping me now, but
is it the Royals?
The Winchester Royals. Thank you. They are a wooden bat college league that so in this area there are an awful lot of this. I'm not sure of the league, but it's recognized by Major League Baseball as a feeder to some of the lower farm systems.
I see.
Extended A, et cetera. But it's a great opportunity for college players to come and play with wooden bats, to get used to or get molded to become
making the transition from tink to crack.
Tink to crack. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So the traveling photographer, how much traveling are you doing these days?
I'm doing none traveling. Everything's sort of parked in limbo. I'm without mask right now because I'm in the house that I rent. But it's too difficult and too risky to go and do the kind of work that I want to do, because my work involves not only landscapes, but also people.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to risk anybody else's life, and I don't want anybody else to risk my life. So we're kind of on hiatus. My gear is all stored up in my gear closet, and I wish I had some kind of workaround for it, but there is no workaround except for masking, which I do, and social distancing. But that's very difficult when a primary subject of my work is people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. We fell into a quick baseball discussion earlier. I see you're wearing a Cubs sweatshirt or some kind. And as we're recording this, we are probably on the brink of saying sayonara to Major League Baseball. We may be. And so they tried, And right out of the gate, opening weekend, we've got a COVID outbreak with the Miami Marlins, I should say. And it could be spreading like wildfire. So everything you're saying, obviously, sensibly, you want to be as preventative as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look back on this when we revisit this video. I don't know, in a week, 2 weeks, 2 months.
Yeah.
We'll know what the outcome of the season is, but short of getting, standing on a soapbox here, it seems like there is a way to mitigate the entire circumstance, and for some reason or another, not everybody is following that protocol, so we're stuck in a cycle. So I'm doing my part, you're doing your part, and we'll see what happens with baseball when we look back on this.
We certainly will. We're speaking with the traveling photographer. He is Andrew Morrell. And Andrew, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back because I want to talk to you a little bit about under normal circumstances, ... So we'll do a little bit of that. You're watching and listening to the RV Advisor podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Back in a moment. Hey, RV owners and those thinking about owning. Want to maximize the fun and minimize the hassle of ownership? You need GPS, Gigi's Personal Services. Our $350 package gets you Gigi's expert advice and a host of outstanding services. Visit thervadvisor.com. We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and my guest today, been with us before, way back in, I think, September. It's Andrew Morrell. He's the traveling photographer. He's based in Virginia, and yes, sir. And, the first half we chatted about where we're all at this time, and it's obviously been an incredible challenge for so many people, and it's just pick your walk of life. It doesn't make a difference what you do, who you are. It's affecting everybody. Take us back to, in a normal situation, you'd be traveling from here to there. I know you do a lot of weddings, but beyond that, you do a lot of other things. And you travel and you take, just looking at the picture behind you, which of course we know is superimposed, but that's some of your work in I believe you said it was in Eastern Colorado.
Yep.
So you take a lot of nature pictures. You take a lot of pictures of cities. You do. Yeah, there you go. We're starting to see some other stuff around you. That's terrific. Where's that? Is that one of the Great Lakes or something?
That is in Maine.
Maine, okay.
There's an island off of the central coast of Maine called Vinyl Haven.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there several years ago and was able to capture the ruddy landscape of the coast of Maine. But I travel where, I go to where there's light. So, because photography is just a simple equation of light and time, and there's always light and there's always time. So wherever whatever I'm interested in personally, I'll go to that place. And, now, like we were talking about before, I'm not, but, I have plans to head down to Arkansas, to go to to go to Hot Springs. I have plans to go into New Mexico, to Santa Fe, to take a gander at some of the hot air balloon festivals.
Very famous.
Yeah, and to take a look at the architecture of New Mexico. I want to really examine some of that, visit some family while I'm there, and head out to Seattle as a final leg on the trip.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it. I'm eager to get there. see what I see, and there's always something interesting. I always tell my clients, some of my wedding clients, that whenever we go and do engagement photos, a favorite place of so many people here in the Washington, D.C. area is Alexandria, Virginia, Old Town. I can go into Old Town a million times and shoot a million engagement sessions and see something fresh and new every single time, because there's always something fresh and new. And photography is such that if you turn this way, there's something new. If you've been facing this way the entire time and you turn this way, something new.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of what it is that I do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm looking at that picture behind you, and it's stunning. It looks like almost every painting you see of Maine. You know, you've caught it all. You've got the beautiful light, and you've got the pines, and of course the ocean and the islands. There you go. You're pointing, and the Rocky Coast. I mean, it's beautiful.
And there was a cold front moving this way.
Yeah, there you go. You got the weather forecast.
Yeah, exactly. I've got another career.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
If I can't go see people and shoot them, then I can tell them what's going to rain on them.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty good. Our guest is Andrew Morrell. He's the traveling photographer. When you were here last time, we talked about RVs, obviously, because it's an RV podcast, and we talked about the idea of getting into an RV. And I guess, wouldn't that be a great way to just sort of be self-sufficient on a long photography road trip?
Yes.
You wouldn't, and it would say, and let me just preface my question by saying, because of the COVID-19 outbreak, the pandemic, we've seen a huge increase in people buying RVs because they are so isolated. I mean, people self-contained. Yeah. Has that inspired your the possibility of joining the community?
100%. After a week, people started to get a little stir crazy and a little cabin feverish. And after 2 weeks, even more so. And now, we're almost into the 4th month of it. And so I've had friends who made their own RV. A good friend in Washington, with his wife and his dog, they rented a package van. And they put a mattress in the back and a tiny little area for a cooker stove. So they basically made a low rent RV.
Yeah.
But 100%, this has been, it's the silver lining to this horrible pandemic is that, I'm looking for another way to live.
Yeah.
And I've always been driven to this idea because I've had multiple experiences with RVs on the road when I go for long extended trips. That's how I go. And so, this is an opportunity for me to really rethink where it is that I'm going to live and if the road is where I'm going to live from here on out. My dog, who is wonderfully snoozing beneath me, is all for the project. She tells me, look, wherever you want to go, I'm with you.
Right.
And she prefers the outdoor life.
Well, if you have a talking dog, you can really make some serious coin with that, so maybe you might want to ditch the photography and just go on the road with the talking dog,
I was trying to hope to fund the RV through the talking dog.
Through the talking dog.
I know.
Yeah. I see how that works. And another point you brought up, you said stir crazy, which immediately made me think, well, one of the great stir crazy movies of all time is The Shining. The 2 photographs we saw, one of Maine, where Stephen King is from, and one of Colorado, where The Shining took place. So
isn't that amazing?
It's pretty incredible. Oh, wow. And there it is, the dreaded hallway. Oh, man. Wow. How do you do it? It's as if it was planned.
It was not planned.
No, it was not planned.
Not in the least was it planned.
And yet look at the magic that's occurred right here.
Yes, I did not take that photo. I do not claim credit for that photo.
No, I think that was taken by an associate named Stanley Kubrick.
Yes. So I'll just go back to the dogs. And,
okay, there you go. There's the talking dog and friend.
yes.
And for the folks listening in, or Andrew is giving us a display of some wonderful photos, most of which he took himself.
Yes.
You have a website, of course. Why don't you share?
Yes, it's my name, andrewmorrell.com.
Right, 2 R's, 2 L's. Yeah. Go ahead. Did you say that?
Wow. Yes, 2 R's, 2 L's.com. Mainly, what you'll see there is my wedding work, but I recently won, as a matter of fact, I just won a really big award about 3 weeks ago for some of my wedding work. And I haven't worked since January. And now it is the end of July, rather. So, I've had to go back into the archives and find photos to submit for awards, and we did well.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic. I know you've won several in the past for your work. And if you haven't seen Andrew Morrell's work, you really should. It is terrific. AndrewMorrell.com.
That's me.
AndrewMorrell.com for some tremendous photography, just photo art. I don't want to call it just photography. He's a photo artist. And so it's just absolutely beautiful. And full disclosure, you and I have known each other for many, many years. And I've gotten but your photography, I was hipped to a little bit later on in knowing you. And I know you as a fellow broadcaster and a wonderful drummer, but your photography is it's like the third leg of the Triple Crown. It's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
And again, it's
Andrew Morrell.
Yeah, it's AndrewMorrell.com. AndrewMorrell.com. That's where you can see the traveling photographer's work, and soon to join. At least he says so. Soon to join the RV community.
100%.
Yeah, there you go. And last thing, who's your baseball team this year? I mean, we probably aren't going to have a baseball. Really, you have a Cubs shirt on. I know that, but I know that you tend to you kind of go where the wind blows.
I actually, when I was younger, I played baseball. I loved it so much that I chose to embrace the entire game.
Yes.
I do not have a favorite team. I watch any game that's on, whether it is Little League or wooden bat baseball to the pros. If I'm to make a suggestion this year, the Atlanta Braves looked incredibly powerful last night against the Mets. But it's going to be a weird season no matter what. I would look for an underdog to have a good run toward the end. And I don't know who that is.
Yeah, well, if we'll see how long when the end gets here. It could be as soon as
tomorrow.
It could be tomorrow as we're taping this,
as
we're recording this. I still say tape. That shows some age. But we enjoyed having you again. I'm sure we'll have you on for a third time and beyond. So
I appreciate that.
Thanks for taking time out of your schedule to join us. We really appreciate it. He is Andrew Morrell. He is the traveling photographer, award-winning traveling photographer. And we'll see you again soon, Andrew.
Thanks, Tom. Be well. Stay safe. Mask up.
Likewise, this is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.